Hello and welcome, or welcome back if you've been following me for a while. This is my channel, Stitches with Love. My name is Elizabeth, and this is where I share all about my knitting adventures on and off the needles. And today I am going to give you an update on the June socks of the month and talk a little bit about a couple of other projects I have going. And it's not going to be a very long talk today, I don't think. Um, right now, my little guy is set up with an activity, and my other little guy is out with my husband. And so this seemed like a good time to just hop on and do a quick video. So I'm going to get started. We are very solidly into the month of June. I think today is the 12th. I don't know. I didn't look at my calendar before I started. I'm pretty sure we're on the 12th of June. So not quite halfway into the month, but close enough that if my June socks were going well, I would have some really good progress made, but I don't. So the June socks of the month have been a little bit of a disaster and frustrating project from the beginning, from winding up the yarn to starting the project and then ripping it out a couple of times. And I'm just annoyed. And I decided that I really just don't like this coordinating color here. It's not that it doesn't go with the main color, it's just that I think it's kind of revolting. And I had to think about why I didn't like this color. Because there's nothing wrong with it, and it's a very nice coordinating color. I tried striping it, didn't really like how that looked, so I ripped it out. Then I tried making just a coordinating heel, and I didn't really like that, so I ripped it out. And so now I have started it again, and I'm just not sure I'm going to use this color to coordinate, and I might not even use a coordinating color at all. So this is still the first June sock of the month. I thought I would really like using these new, just poked my eye out almost, these new needles, but they were kind of annoying me, not because there's anything wrong with them, but because they just, I don't know, something just didn't quite seem right with them. I think it's the join here, the stitches weren't, I don't know. It was just this whole project has been frustrating. So I took the needles out of this sock, and they're being held right now just with a circular until I come back to finish it. And I'm just going to do these socks on double pointed needles. It's still the same size I would typically use to make a sock. And you know what? I think I'm just going to stick with one color for these June socks of the month. And then when I do my square for my memory blanket that I'm doing, I will just have one square for June. And you know what? It's fine. I don't care. Although, well, maybe I will coordinate it with this just for the blanket. But the whole idea is that I'm using colors from socks. I think I'm just going to do the one square. So, number one sock on June socks of the month, I started over again. I'm not sure if I'm even going to bother with ripping this out to save the yarn. I probably should, because it'd be kind of wasteful otherwise. But that peach color, I just really don't like. And in general, I'm not a peach color fan anyway. It's not really a favorite of mine. And I was trying to figure out why I really just don't like this color, because there is not anything inherently wrong with it. And then I got to thinking about the color of the walls in our house. So if you've never been to our home, when we moved in, we did not paint right away because we weren't really sure what we wanted. And so we didn't want to paint until we knew with absolute certainty what we wanted our walls to be. Well, now I know, and so I'm very slowly figuring out how we want to paint and what colors. But in the meantime, all of the walls in all of our common areas, in the family room, in the playroom, in the kitchen, and the dining room, it's all this horrible peach color. It's an awful color. And the whole inside of the house in the rooms where we are spending most of our time is painted that color. And I think that's why I'm not really enjoying working with it in this project. So in addition to it being a color I don't love, I have to stare at it every day and I hate it. So I decided that instead of fussing with something that I just am not enjoying, this is such a mess, it's all tangled. It just doesn't make sense to keep going, to finish this sock and then have to do another sock. So I'm going to not bother with it. And now, I don't know, in my mind, ripping this out to save the yarn was a good idea, but now I'm starting to think that maybe I'm a little crazy for trying to do that. You know what? It's fine. We'll just cut it off here. I'll set that aside for my magic knot ball. You get to see all of this in real time. I don't edit my videos, so whatever you see being recorded here is just what gets uploaded, for better or worse. Oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. Well, at least I can save most of this yarn, but some of it I think is just going to have to go to the waste bin. Maybe I should cut this. That would probably make a lot more sense. I can't reach my scissors. All right, I'll fuss with that in a minute. So that is the update on the June socks of the month. And then I have had a hankering to start another Musselburgh hat, which is a little crazy given that we haven't really technically even started our summer season and it's like 90 degrees outside. But I also realized that I can't really wait until it gets closer to Christmas to start making Christmas presents. So this is going to be one of the Christmas presents I am gifting this year. And I'm fairly confident my husband does not watch these videos, so I don't think he will find out that this is actually for him before Christmas. So this is a hat for my beloved husband, Alexander. His favorite colors are green and purple, and I have some really nice green and purple yarns. So I thought it would be really fun to make him a hat and then one for each of our boys in those colors. Because Felix and Michael, our two children, are growing rapidly and they need new hats anyway. And I have lots of yarn and I've really been wanting to make another hat. So all good reasons to just pick out some needles and get started. I think that's really all I have to share. Another Musselburgh hat. I think there's going to be enough yarn, just enough to make the size I need for him. I had enough for the same size and the same needles I did for a Christmas gift last year, and it seemed fine. So I think it's going to be okay to do it again this year. I'm going to fuss with whatever this is. It looks like those crazy ramen noodle packets has exploded. It's such a mess. This is so annoying. But you know what? That is just part of the making process, the mess and the tangles. And eventually, most of the time, I end up with a beautiful end product. And I am confident that eventually I'm going to end up with a beautiful pair of socks for the June socks of the month. Although at the rate that this is going, they might not be done until next June. But who knows? Let's see, what is this tangle? I don't usually have Fridays off, but my husband is on vacation this week. And so I thought that I would take a couple of extra days and be at home with them, with my husband and with my children. And so that's why you're seeing me today on a day that I wouldn't normally do any recording during the daytime. What is going on here? This is so weird. It's tangled up somehow through a stitch. Is that even a stitch? I don't even know what this is. Uh-oh. So I'm going to fuss with this and see if I can get it figured out, get it wound up, and probably add it to my magic knot ball, although I might wait until the socks are closer to being done, because then I can be sure I have enough of the color I need, although I'm pretty confident I will. All right, there we go. I got it. Whatever you find yourselves doing, I hope it's fabulous. Stay cool. We've got some very hot weather on the way here. Personally, I do not love the heat. When it starts to get above 80, I get a little cranky, and I just am not enjoying life when it is hot and humid and just kind of miserable. But we're going to do the best we can here, and we will do our best to stay cool. Meals, I think, are going to be super simple. I don't think I'm going to do a lot of cooking. And so just doing our best to conserve the electricity and keep the house cool. Stay hydrated. Happy knitting. Happy Friday. And if you are in a similar situation where you are having to rip out projects or you're just not happy, it's okay. And it's okay to go out and buy some new yarn and maybe a new set of needles and cast on something new. You have my blessing. Until next time, happy knitting.